As they're hiding wires.
Yes.
I'm not hiding my wires. I'm a robot.
Okay.
Doug has an issue with wires.
Yeah. Gotta keep them hidden.
We're
You're recording. Yeah.
we're doing it live.
We're live?
Welcome everybody. Another episode from the Pittsburgh VMUG UserCon 2019. As you can see, we have the Penguins shirt back there. And right next to me, I have Doug DeFrank. Doug, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, so my name is Doug DeFrank. I'm a real new VMUG leader to the Pittsburgh region here. I started as a VMUG leader back in December, so brand new to this role, and this is actually my first UserCon as a leader, but I've come in many years past as a attendee or customer.
And what is your title?
So right now, I am a senior IT infrastructure engineer for HM Health Solutions here in downtown Pittsburgh.
And could you tell me about vExpert?
Sure. So I honestly didn't even know what vExpert was prior to meeting you, actually. My coworker AJ Kuftik had kind of mentioned vExpert to me before, and then you moved to the area, and AJ strongly recommended that I get to meet and know you when you came in to visit, and it was like, okay, this aerial guy seems to be like a big deal in the community. Sure, I'll. If AJ suggests it, yeah, let's go ahead and meet. So I remember you came in.
AJ was your senior at that time, so you basically just followed.
Yeah, I was just like I'm following his lead, right? Yeah. So then I think you came into town for the UserCon prior to you moving here, and so I got to learn a bit about like what some others were doing in the community. I think it was you were in town, Adam Eckerly and Rebecca Fitzpugh was in town, and it was like, oh, you know, these guys are like big players in the VMware space. Like, well, who am I? I'm just like this little guy from Pittsburgh who doesn't really know anything. Like, I'm hanging out with superstars. What is happening? Like, that was the feeling initially, you know, right? And so,
nothing further from the truth.
It's just what the feeling was, and so it was just, you know,
I guess we sold it well.
Yeah, I'm getting to know these people and get actual, you know, human time with them, and this is pretty awesome. So I started learning more.
How many years vExpert though? Because it's been 2 years since.
So yeah, so I have been a vExpert now for, this is my second year,
cool.
And prior that meeting was like, okay, vExpert, it sounds cool, like, but you know, you don't just like throw your name in a hat and get picked. Like, what are the requirements? What do I have to do? And I remember you challenging me, you know, voluntold here, Mr. Ariel, on, you know, I want you to start a blog, and I want to see. You
had a blog. You had a photography blog.
Yeah, that's true. I forgot about that. Yes, I technically had a photography blog, and it was mostly just photography driven, nothing at all about technology. And you had challenged me to start a new blog on technology and blog about what I'm doing at work. And I was just like, well, what am I going to talk about? Nothing that I do matters. Nobody really wants to hear what little old me has to say. And it was like, here's the challenge. We're going to sit down right now and we're going to start a WordPress. Yeah. And it's like, what do I call it? And it's just like, whatever you want. And I'm like, okay. So we started a WordPress blog. And
what's the blog?
So my website right now is it's my name, www.dougdefrank.com. And that forwards to my WordPress site, and that's where I've had it now for the past 2 years. And you know, anytime there's something new or exciting or that's kind of like a gotcha, like, oh hey, I just learned this cool thing at work. Okay, take some notes, and then try to, you know, take that brainstorming and shape it into something. I wordsmith too much, and it takes me forever to put stuff out, but I want it to be professional but also meaningful and helpful to the community at large. So I do take my time in getting my posts out, but that's what you know, got me started to like gain traction there. And then
hold on, before you start, because I want to touch into other things, but I want to tell you that this is about current vExperts, past vExperts, future vExperts. Got it. How they got started in IT, and what they're doing with their platform now. So let's go back to that. How did you get started in IT?
How did I get started in IT? I've just always been interested in technology, really. A lot of it was just, you know, I remember the first time a friend of mine in high school, I think it was my 16th or 18th birthday at the time, we went to this little shack where we grew up that sold computer parts. And when I mean parts, like not like Best Buy where you have the, you know, cellophane wrapped parts.
Not in that box.
It was like, we have a cardboard box, and there are boards in this one, there are motherboards in this one, there's some CPUs with the little pin protectors here. And it was like, you know, I got some money. Let's build a computer. What do I need? Oh, well, you need a motherboard. Okay. What else? You need a CPU. Okay. You need some RAM. Got it. What else?
That's cool.
Probably want a hard drive and some ribbon cables. Okay. Got it. How's this thing turn on? Oh yeah, right. You need a power supply. Yes. Okay. Power's good. So like just, you know, okay. Where's your bin of power supplies? I picked this case. What's that need? And so just, you know, I think actually the first computer we built, I didn't have a tower for. It was just power supply, motherboard, RAM, CPU thing.
Hey, that's
and
a
it's
Lego.
Like, I got it to work.
That's a Lego, yeah.
It turned on. Oh, now I should probably invest in a case.
It didn't blow up, yeah.
Right, it didn't catch fire. This is awesome. Okay, now I need something to put on it. You know, I didn't know what Linux was, so you know, we just Windows 95 at the time and just kind of threw it together, and it was like this skeleton PC for a while. And so I was like, this is kind of cool. And I remember going in college, wanting to go into. They didn't really have electrical engineering was the track at the time. They didn't really have like an IT track. And after my first year there, they came in with this information sciences and technology program at Penn State. And that was bridging like IT stuff with business side of things. So it was more, you know, like not so much electrical engineering technology where you design the boards and figure out the capacitors and the, you know, all that, resistors and how to make it work. It was just, hey, you buy off the shelf parts, piece it together, make it work. Or how do you take that off the shelf product and convince your manager or upper management that, hey, I want to spend some money, here's why, here's your return on investment, here's the cost benefit analysis.
Make it work for our business.
Yeah, make it work for the business, what's the value add here, and just stuff like that. So. Got my 2-year associates, then my 4-year bachelor's, and right out of college, I ended up working for the university then at the Applied Research Lab. They had a grant that they were doing some tech stuff from a course design perspective, but then there was also like a multimedia angle to it. So like they wanted to develop this course, but they also wanted to enrich it with multimedia. So that's kind of where I got more into photography and videography and doing that side of stuff. So it was both content creation and a little bit of design and grammatical like checking and stuff like that for the course content, and then you know the tech stuff like how do we get said content to a web server.
Those are great skills, like honestly, to have in this day and age.
Yeah.
And I want to go back now to what you were saying. Your blog is very meticulous. I've seen you presented at the VMUG before you were a leader. It was a great presentation. You know, what I remember the most was you were explaining Power CLI code in a very easy, entertaining way, using PowerPoint and doing these boxes and expanding the code. You know, you could tell you had some real good ideas on how to show information.
Yeah.
You mentioned you're very thorough with your blog, but now you're branching off into other things. Right. So using those skills, and tell me about that online presence and you know, digital brand that you're building.
Right. So that was one thing that, like, the big takeaway of being you know, vExpert and VMUG leader as well is think of yourself kind of as a brand. That there's this idea that you know, okay, yes, I may work for company X today, but you know, voluntarily or involuntarily, you never know, something could change. So how do you kind of stay ahead of that curve if something drastic were to happen, you know, intentionally or not? But then also, you know, just branching out and trying to help the community at large and just, you know, okay, I know some things about tech and, you know, I've written about them, and, you know, one thing I really was not comfortable with for a long time was speaking, but I kind of overcame that hurdle a little bit, I feel like. And then
pushing off the deep end.
Yeah, sure. Trial by fire. And then, so one of the things I've started recently is a YouTube channel, and
a very nice YouTube channel.
I created the account, and it sat idle for a while, and then I did something short and just threw it up there, and then it was like, okay, I need to put myself in front of the camera and learn to, like, rehearse or get comfortable with talking into the barrel of a lens. Usually when I have done videos in the past, it's I look at a person or I look to another individual in the room. I don't stare down the barrel of the lens, and that feels awkward. And then it's like, okay, I know what I want to say, okay, and then I sit there and, hi, my name is Doug DeFrank, and I'd like to, oh crap, I already forgot what I was going to say. I already forgot what I was going to say. No.
Look up #GunShow, Doug DeFrank.
You had to do that in this video?
But I do want to highlight that it's been a project.
It has.
You know, when we talked about this a year and a half ago, you were thinking of, you know, changing your office to make this work.
Yes.
So talk a little about that, because a lot of the reactions you're getting now are like, man, that looks really nice back there. What's that? You know?
Yeah, so one of the really great things that happened was shortly after I started my new job, we bought a home, and it had 4 bedrooms, and we decided to turn the 1 bedroom into a home office. I mean, I do have the luxury of working from home, you know, occasionally when needed and things, and work is super flexible about that, and I'm extremely thankful for it. But then it was like, okay, I should probably build the office to kind of accommodate, you know, make it an office space so that there's no distractions from, you know, children or pets or what have you. And then it was like, okay, well, all right, well, the sun kind of goes this way. This is how much I thought about it. Okay, you know, so I get natural light from this window and that window especially. Okay, so if I use that kind of like on good days or cloudy days to get the light in the room, again, thinking photography, content creation here. Light coming in that way. All right, so maybe, but you know what I could do? I could get an L-shaped desk, and instead of pitting it in the corner of the room, turn it this way, so that the natural light coming in from the window, and then I could sit and do videos across the desk this way, and then, you know, when it's time to go back to business, you just kind of spin around and you're back at your, you know, the working space, and then like the video space.
You basically built yourself your studio.
I did, sort of. I mean, it wasn't intentional. I didn't intentionally. I didn't intend from day one. I mean, I didn't mean for that to happen day one. But then it's like, okay, I got the desk. Cool. And then I'm a fan of Gary Vaynerchuk, and one of the things I noticed that he had in some of his videos was he had this background shelf of various things in his office in New York, and I'm just like, I really like that idea. You know, people that know me know I'm into Ghostbusters and Legos and just different things, and it's like, oh, I could display all my cool stuff on the back wall. Yeah, okay. And there was this kit on Amazon that I'd seen with like industrial piping and plumbing and stuff, and so I took the whole back wall that was plain and, you know, threw up this shelving unit, bought wood, sanded it, stained it, put it together, made sure everything was plumb and level and this and that, because that's what I do. Meticulous. So now really, I've got a shelf full of stuff.
You have your studio.
Yeah, I got
you started putting videos, and what I want to focus on now is the community reaction and the community tips that you've gotten once you started, because not everybody does a vlog, you know.
Right.
Vlogs are a rarity in our community.
Sure.
But
they can't
I love it. Especially when someone takes the care that you're taking. So tell me about running that vlog now.
So I guess a little bit of background on some of the progression there was, you know, okay, I'm meticulous about my blog and how I try to put out content and wordsmith and things of that sort, but it became this, well, not everybody learns by reading. Some folks may want to actually, okay, look, you've got the text, you got screenshots, I don't have time for that, just show me what to do and how to do it. This was a way to augment that written content. So I'd have the content in written form and then video form as well. And then if you could, based on your preference, you could either read about it or you could watch it, or do both. It's up to you how you want to consume the content. But I tried to cover like where my blog and now the video stuff is starting to take off. Is I did a series on Git integration with VS Code that I learned at a little hack, thanks to you for setting that up. And Dan Barr showed me some workflows and how some of that stuff worked. And Carl showed me, you know, VS Code and how to build that to integrate it. It's like, if I can learn all this, I should try to teach others about it. So I did this written form series for Windows, and now I'm trying to do a video series and written series as well for people that are on Mac OS. So that's kind of what I'm focused on now. But the YouTube reaction, you know, it's subtle. I know I have the goofy long URL right now. Once I get to 100 subscribers, I can change it to be like...
Subscribe to his channel.
Yeah, youtube.com/Doug DeFrank is where I want to be, but I have to build up that following first. So once I'm there, then I can get the custom URL. Anyway, yeah, went off on a tangent. But like one of the things I remember doing was, okay, who else in the community does YouTube? There's this Aaron Bewley guy that does some stuff. He's doing a kit car thing right now, and he's done some other like life videos that he did in Australia and you know, in Melbourne and some of that stuff. And I thought those were funny and really catchy. Like, he probably knows something about it. Hey, Aaron, you know, Doug from Pittsburgh, like, you know, hey, you know, can you check this out? Like, can you vet this for me? Like, what do you think? And you know, like he actually answered, you know, and that again to me went back to that whole, you know, like, wow, these people are real and they care about what we're doing.
The vCommunity is awesome.
It is truly amazing. You guys have no idea. If you're not involved in the vCommunity yet, it's an amazing place to be. And so reaching out to Aaron.
If somebody's not involved in the vCommunity, what would be the top 2 ways to get involved?
First of all, I mean, obviously come to VMUGs. That's the place to start. VMware user groups, or just any sort of virtual or technology related meetup of anything. You know, if you're not necessarily running VMware or VMware Cloud or anything, like, you know, if you're a Citrix user, look up Citrix user group. If you're an AWS person, look up an AWS user group in your area and at least show up to a meeting. Hey, I'm so-and-so. I work at this company down the street and just here to learn and interact and feed off what others may be talking about. Maybe I'll learn something and take it back. That was huge for me. And then 2, I mean, it sounds kind of lame, and I'm going to echo Ariel, but you know, Twitter. I used to think, who in their right mind would, you know, like 140 characters at the time, like, what do I have to say in 140 characters or less? Now, what is it, 280? But still, it's just like, you know, I ate pizza. Like, that's not what we're using it for. It's like, hey, I did this thing. Here's what I did. And it's like, hey, you know what? You got a great blog content there. Have you got a blog yet? You know, and well, no, I don't have time.
The best part, I think, is that fact that you can tell people publicly. Like, you don't they don't have to follow them to be able to tell them things, right? And
tell or even ask.
Just interact things. And like you did with Aaron Bewley, who you looked up to. He probably didn't know you until you started talking to him, and now you're friends.
Yeah, and it, like later on, as things went, like he would vet iteration 1 and then the second update, and I'm like, you know what, Aaron, this sounds really silly, but how like at the end of a YouTube video, you know how you get the little cards that show up, the little videos is like, hey, my next video in this is this, or like here's other, or click my, you know, this to subscribe. He's like, oh yeah, those are called end cards. I'm like, end cards. Did not know that's what it was, or the end, you know, and so I Googled that and how to do this and position things and make the template fit and that you have to.
That sounds like a great blog post series right there.
Just how to do YouTube content. Sure, okay. The thing is, I've got, you know, a brain full of ideas of what to write. It's just taking the time to sit down, put the post together, put the video together, upload, share it with others. You know.
Especially at the quality that you're doing it, it must, you know, it's, people don't realize a blog post can be something quick if you just like doing that brain dump.
Yeah.
But doing a really nice blog post with a video version of it, that's 20 hours in the back end.
Right, and this is in between my day job, you know, wife and son, family time, cutting the grass, home improvement projects. I mean, there's always so many things going on, and so it's just
going to the gym 2 hours a day.
Not 2 hours a day. Try to get there at least 3 days a week.
Hashtag gun show.
Here it is again. But anyway, I see you laughing over there. But yeah, it's just trying to squeeze all that in between, you know, all the daily life stuff. It's just, you know, okay, sometimes you just have to dedicate some time. You know what? Thursday night after 8 p.m., I'm dedicating 2 hours. I'm going to sit down, close off Twitter, shut down Facebook, close Slack, whatever apps, you know, silence the phone, notifications, focus on this thing.
Very nice.
You know, and just making time for it out of the day, or you know, if you know, you had a quick lunch, fine, take the full hour lunch and go shoot some content, and you know, maybe shoot the video part day 1. 2 or 3 days later, you come back and do the screenshots, and 4 or 5 days later, you come back and you edit what you shot from the camera with your screen captures, and then, you know, maybe the audio was terrible on the screen capture, so you just sit there with a microphone and voice over again to just walk the user through. Like, that's where my brain is, and you know, really crafting that to, I don't know, it's always been quality over quantity, I guess. You know, I'm not here to get, you know.
Yeah, you get an enjoyment out of making something good.
Yeah.
I get it. So one final thing. Well, 2 final things.
2 final things.
I'm going to interview you next year.
Yep.
So I want to hear what you want to achieve in this coming year at the community level, at a personal level. And finally, once we're done with that, you know, a little shout out to your family and friends, and we'll close down the video.
Okay. So, so my personal goals really, you know, I actually did a blog post about this. For 2019, were to try to do at least 10 YouTube videos this year. 5, 10, I forget what the number was, but it was something like that. Try to do that many and keep up with the blogging. 20 blog posts, I think, was my goal for this year. And I don't know if it's going to happen, but we'll see. Another goal was to try to go back to VMworld. You know, the way my company is doing it is that they're trying to give each person on the virtualization team an opportunity to go and experience it. And if I could get, you know, there either as a speaker or a community presenter or something, I mean, number one, that would be my first time ever speaking at VMworld, you know, that conference. But then number two, it would just give me the opportunity to go and attend and just, you know, hang out and meet up with everybody. And yes, there's some really awesome sessions and things to go see and hear about. But, you know, that being able to meet and catch up with people in real life. That, you know, hey, I follow so-and-so on Twitter. Oh my gosh, they're here and they're a real person and they exist and hi. You know, like, and just, you know, getting that. I got some feedback last year about the blog and like some of the flow and ads and just this and that I'm still trying to look at. You know, AdSense was another one of them. So just, you know, there's always great exchange of ideas and being able to catch up with, oh, I haven't seen you since last year. What's new? What's happening? You know, that to me is just, that's where the cool stuff is. Yeah.
Just in case you didn't know, vBrownBag is they have the CFP right now for the vBrownBag sessions.
They're looking for speakers.
So you know, submit a session. And you know, have a fallback plan, but definitely submit a session to show some of the stuff that you love, that you're passionate about.
Maybe next year I'll submit a session for UserCon presentations.
You should.
I should.
I'm surprised you didn't.
I'll get on that.
Okay. So finally, shout out to your friends, family.
Oh, yeah. Hi, everybody. I'm on YouTube now. I just really appreciate.
We'll put the link in there.
I just really appreciate, you know, all the support I've gotten from like my wife and family for just, you know, when I go to these kind of events, you know, giving me the time to go do them and be present here with everybody, and then also, you know, having the patience and understanding to, you know, that I'm trying to juggle my day job and the household responsibilities, but then also, you know, still trying to help others. I mean, I've always looked at helping others, whether it's through volunteer work or you know, this sort of thing. So I just
didn't even touch about the firefighter part, but that'll have to be a different video.
Maybe, I guess. That was a while ago.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys.